So today is Wednesday. I think it's the 8th of November, and it's a week and a day before I depart on my trip. So I need some exercise today. So I'm here at the Fairbank historic town site. There's got really some good trails around here to walk. So I'm going to do the longest one today, which totals up to 4.5 miles, something like that. Under normal circumstances it would be well within my capabilities, not that they're all that much at my age anymore, but yesterday I did 5 miles out to Pep. So this is how we go, walking into the entrance here. They've obviously been doing more work because these railings are new, and months ago I saw them relaying all this driveway. So we're coming into the township, the ghost town if you like, of Fairbank. Now this used to be the railhead for Tombstone. So back in Wyatt Earp's day, every day they had fresh seafood, amazing things being shipped in, and it all came by rail into here. It was a major rail junction, and it was wagoned down into Tombstone every day to the restaurants and hotels. Not a lot of people know that, because the railroad didn't get to Tombstone until 1902, can you believe? And then it existed until 1960, 62, and then they tore it out. God, if it was in existence now, it would be a hell of a tourist thing. But anyway, not then. So this is where all the tracks used to be, and over the back there is the main, I think it's the Union Pacific line that came down from Contention. We'll see that later on in the walk. But here's Railroad Avenue, and this is where our trail starts. It's called the San Pedro Trail because we're going to be walking by the San Pedro River. Watch out for venomous creatures, yeah, and bears and mountain lions. Anyway, here we go. See you later. First time I came here, I thought this trail was an old railroad track, but it's not. It's an old wagon road that used to take the ore from the mines around here, Contention and Tombstone and other places, and bring it here and wagon it down further down here to there's a big stamping mill which we'll see the remains of shortly. It's about a mile or so down here. So they helpfully put directions on. So up ahead is the Grand Central Mill that we're heading for, and also off to the right a little way up there is Fairbank Cemetery, which I've been to, and well, you can't see much nowadays, so onward. So about half a mile in, and as the sign says, this is Fairbank Cemetery down there, but we're not going to go down there because it's not very impressive nowadays. A lot of history though, a lot of people lived here, a lot of people died here, but anyway, we move on. So we're about another half a mile further on, and the trail looks much the same. Last time I walked this, it was rainy season, so it was a lot greener. It's dried back a hell of a lot now, and I'm hoping that further up it will mean the trail's a bit more accessible, because the greenery really was overgrowing the trail, and made me worry about snakes a bit and all that kind of stuff, you know, so let's hope it's a bit better today. We'll find out. It's all about fire, which you think they get a hell of a lot of around here, but not since I've been here. Anyway, onward. Well, as you walk around, if you look into the undergrowth, you'll often see a load of old junk, which must come from back in the day. And I often wonder what this stuff is, you know. Sometimes you can get a clue, but here, no clue. It's very light, so it wasn't part of a boiler or anything. And those holes at the bottom do suggest fire, but anyway, one wonders. Well, it's half a mile further on and looks like it came off the same bit of stuff, doesn't it? I never figured out what this stuff is, you know. Nice rivets, I wonder who put them in. We'll never know. And the stamping mill is it's actually just here. We're just walking into it now. Grand Central Stamping Mill. Almost a mile and a half into the walk. So this is where the wagons would have dropped all the ore off, and on the other side of that hill there must be the San Pedro River, or what's left of it, because stamping mills need a hell of a lot of water to stamp. Yes, this is it. And this is it. You can see the masonry now, the terracing. I'd love to have seen it in its heyday, but I haven't actually seen any photos of it even. There is a sign here, but I don't think it's got a photo on it. Maybe. Oh, I tell a lie. Prove me a liar. Grand Central Mill, rocked around the clock. This rock wall was once the back wall of a silver processing stamp mill. This was one of 7 mills along the San Pedro that supported the 50 mines in the Tombstone hills. He said here it was loaded onto wagons and hauled to the mills by long mule trains. So, there it is. There it is, boys. On the other side of that would have been the actual stamp mills and the water, I don't know, water wheel or something that provided the energy. Anyway, here we go again. So, it's a little over 2 miles in. This is the halfway point. This is the San Pedro River. Not exactly lush English green scenery, is it? And there is a signpost up here. I know roughly what it says, because I've been here before. Actually, we're not halfway. So we've come 1.6 miles from Fairbank, and you can see on the bottom line there that contention is just over the river, over that way there. So that's where they put Ben Wade on the 310 to Yuma back in the day, if it was true, which it isn't. and top line, that's the loop trail, so it's another 2.1 miles to go to get back into Fairbank. And you just walk over here. This is the remains of the San Pedro River. Hardly ever see water in it nowadays. Many years ago there was a big earthquake, I believe, and that kind of diverted the river, maybe even underground. Back in Wyatt Earp's day, this was like a major waterway. People said that they bought fresh food and produce to Tombstone from the San Pedro River, but I don't think so. The San Pedro, as it goes close to Tombstone, is a lot narrower than this, and even if it hadn't been diverted, I don't think it was big enough to get big boats up. I might be wrong, but most of it came in on the railhead. But anyway, the remains of the San Pedro River, and we go over there. Walking on this incredibly soft sandy trail. Everything reminds me of something, and it's reminding me of walking on Patong Beach, where, knock on wood, good luck, I should be walking soon. A little over a week's time, I hope. Knocking on wood frantically. Learn not to take anything for granted nowadays. Things can get snatched away from you so easy. But anyway, that's just me. Just veer off the trail for a second. And down there is the San Pedro River, and you can see it's just about dry. Not going to be anything floating down there anytime soon, is there? Anyway, here we go. A bit further on. Oh, here we got a bit of water. Look at that. And it's flowing. Look at that, look at that. Hey. But you're not going to get any ocean liners down there, are you? But pretty good though. So we're still walking parallel to the San Pedro River, just over there. And any time now should come into view the main railroad bridge over the San Pedro River that brought in the line from Contention going down southwest, I presume, to Yuma and on down to Nogales. It's all disused now, of course, but that track bed is all intact. It's amazing, whereas all the others have disappeared without trace. Anyway, anytime now. This is a great shot of the river here. There is water, yay, and it's flowing. You can see it. And hidden in those trees up ahead will be the bridge. I might be able to see it, but I'm still not sure. But all the way up in there, I don't know. We'll see. Onward. And as if by magic, it appears out of the greenery. There's the bridge. So we're approaching the railroad line now. I often wondered what this was, you know, like the remnants of an old gate or something. I don't know. Just a couple of railroad ties, maybe. Yeah, that one there's a railroad tie. You can see where the chairs were. So I don't know, just stuck up there, not where they originally were. So we come out into the clearing, and there, just see it now, there is the track bed for the main line. Either the Southern Pacific, Central Pacific, Union Pacific, I don't know. I'll maybe put on the video later when I look it up. So off in that direction is Contention and the north, Down there is Fairbank, maybe Yuma, don't know if it splits off there or not, and Nogales to the south, the border. Okay, so Fairbank is down there, that's the path, but if we go here, it's easy access into the track bed, and this is the disused track bed. That direction, contention, points to the north. This direction, Nogales, points to the south. And now we're going to walk down here, and in a little while we should walk into Fairbank station. I'm constantly listening out for what might be a ghost train coming up behind me. So if you hear anything, let me know. This is the path down there. This is a bridge over this gully. That sounds like a ghost train. No, it's just a highway. Bridge over the River Kwai? I don't think so. It's all rotten. What it must have been like in the day, eh? All rotten. But the track bed is in brilliant condition. They could relay the lines here very, very easily. But they don't. Probably because it goes from nowhere to nowhere nowadays. And here is Fairbank Station, coming up here. I think there's a path down from here. Hope so, otherwise I've got to go all the way back. And according to the map, up there is the main depot for this railroad. So I'll have to explore that one day. Here's the old platform. I'm not sure I ought to be standing on that. Looks decidedly iffy. But how many people did over the years get off here, change for Tombstone? But it wouldn't have been back in Wyatt Earp's day, as I said, because the railroad to Tombstone wasn't put in until 1902. So, not much history here. Okay, out. Taking my life in my hands a bit here. This could be rotted out. If I fall through this, I'm bloody hosed. I think this is one of my not very good decisions. One broken leg coming up. Okay, last little one. Okay, we're back on the ground. Whew! I suddenly realised that that wasn't a wise thing to do. Right, a sign here tells you Fairbank is just up here. We're just walking into it now. Okay, Fairbank. So, circle has almost not been broken. We've made it all the way back. One of these signs here, plaques, I love plaques, might tell us which particular railroad that was. This is all about water. About water and the silver mines. Okay. Out. That's the post office. Of course, this is another line here. This was a major railroad junction here. I think there was 3 lines came through here, including the spur off to Tombstone. There's obviously a line that ran through here. Boom days, back when the Old West was young. Once called Kendal, it began as a stagecoach stop on the way to Tombstone. The wild characters that made Tombstone famous also walked the dusty streets of Fairbank. In the late 1880s, the construction of the Arizona and Southeastern Railroad spurred business activity in Fairbank, making it a major transportation hub. Here, people transferred trains or caught stagecoaches that carried them over bumpy roads to Tombstone, Bisbee or other mining towns. Well, it doesn't say what other railroads used it. But this is the other main track bed here foreshore. And these are the buildings that remain. Over there, I believe, was a depot for the Arizona line, I think, like sidings and shit. On the right track, here we are. People of Fairbank enjoyed exotic foods such as oysters on the half shell packed in ice and other goods brought in on the trains. Nearly everything moved by train, blah blah blah. So we've got the El Paso and Southwestern Railroad, which is this puppy here and there, up to Tucson to the north. New Mexico and Arizona Railroad going into Benson, coming through Contention, ran very close to the Grand Central Mill. Patagonia, Nogales, okay, yeah. So the track bed we've just walked was the New Mexico and Arizona Railroad that did, yes, it went through Contention. Must have crossed the river here somewhere. And this is the spur off to Tombstone. Okay, so now you know. It wasn't any of the Pacifics at all.